In this episode of Wellness Made Easy, we're celebrating health and independence. Larry Logsdon joins Dr. Bob Martin, host of the largest syndicated weekend health talk show in the U.S., to share the inspiring story of an 83-year-old man whose life was transformed by a simple fruit, noni. What makes this tropical remedy so powerful? How can it help with pain, energy, and immune support? Get ready for a natural solution that goes beyond the ordinary.
You know, in that last segment, talking about fruit and how fruit can help your health, I kind of got hungry in thinking about it. I don't know about you, but I want to stay on that theme about how nature puts into this world that we live in materials in the form of foods, fruits, veggies, and other foods that we can find and consume and benefit by. And we're going to stay on top of that theme in talking about how fruit, you can consume it and it will rally your body against things that will harm you, and it will preserve your health by giving you things that you otherwise wouldn't get if you didn't eat a specific type of fruit. And we're being joined by a special guest, Larry Logsdon. He is a functional food researcher specializing in the medicinal properties and benefits of exotic fruits. One that Larry focuses on exclusively is noni juice. Morinda citrifolia is the botanical name, but all you need to remember is noni juice, noni fruit. And we're going to talk about how if you consume noni juice, it can also help your health like it has helped millions and millions of other people. Now, Larry founded Tahiti Trader Noni, the company, in 1998. And I invited him on to the Dr. Bob Martin Show to discuss this topic. Good day to you, Larry. Thank you for joining us, sir.
Good morning, Dr. Bob. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. When you recently sent me the audio tape for me to listen to, a guy named by the name of Gerald, didn't catch his last name, Gerald.
Gerald Peters.
Gerald Peters. I would not have believed he was 83 years of age. He sounds 83 years young, but after I heard the audio tape of him discussing how consuming just a few ounces, a couple ounces, 2 or 3 times a day of noni juice, how it impacted him to the extent that he wants to teach it to his congregation and everybody he comes in contact with. And I thought, that's pretty remarkable. You need that certainly can't hurt your company to have ambassadors and people out there talking it up about noni. And this, I see this happen, Larry, when people benefit by something and they know that they benefit by it and they want others to experience the same thing. And it's a beautiful thing when that comes together. So I wanted to let our audience know that we're going to be playing an excerpt of Larry and Gerald talking, and I want you to listen very carefully as to what Gerald has to say about noni, and then we're going to, Larry, talk on the other side of this audio tape, this recording, this interview that you did with Gerald. I want to have some questions. I have questions to ask you, so I want you to stand by for that, all right?
You got it. No problem.
All right, Phil, let's play the interview of Larry Logsdon interviewing Gerald on the topic of noni juice. Go.
Good morning. Is that you, Gerald?
Yes, it is.
So, Gerald, you tell me about how long you've been using noni juice for.
It goes back as early as the 70s, is when I was first introduced to it. The more that I become acquainted with it and used it myself and felt more vibrant. And at that particular time, there were so many people out there that are constantly in some form of pain and agony. And with me being a gospel DJ, I had a feel for people and their agony. The more I become acquainted with it through usage, I was amazed at different ailments and the feedback that I got. The thing that really got my attention is there was a lady with fibromyalgia fibromyalgia. That is agony in itself on a continuous basis, and it amazed me at the feedback. I'm tired of watching people die prematurely. So many people, I'm in my 80s, actually 83. We've had a number of people in our congregation that have passed away. Some of them are relatively young. I would say even a person in their 60s are young. The different things that they pass away from is very unfortunate. Had they had the ministry of knowing about Noni Juice, they may still be here on this earth. What happened to me is it's almost like a revival. I got away from Noni Juice for a number of years, and it came back to me that so many people were benefited from the usage of it, and thank God for your company. And you have literature, and your book is something to behold. As you know, I'm very enthusiastic about teaching a class at my local church. All I know is I was feeling more vibrant during those years. Since reacquainted myself with it, I can tell a remarkable difference. I just want to see a revival of this product for the good of my fellow man. And that's the reason that I'm so enthusiastic about it, because it's going to make a remarkable difference in people's health and well-being. I want to see people healed and living a long, prosperous life. Well, that's just it. Well, I just lost a friend that passed away from colon cancer. When I became acquainted with your company, and I felt very blessed to. And when you furnished me the literature that you furnished me, and especially your book needs to be in everybody's hands to change your life.
At what age would you recommend that people begin starting to drink Noni Juice?
Regardless of what age you are, you definitely need to include Noni as a regular part of your daily routine. You only need 2 ounces 3 times a day.
Well, thank you very much for your time. It's been a pleasure to have you today. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
That is an amazing story. Gerald Peters, 83 years young, talking about how people at 60 are young, in his opinion. And unfortunately, he was talking about somebody dying in their 60s prematurely, because it's true. We have the capacity to live way, way beyond that. And people who leave, so many of them leave so prematurely. And one can only ask that same question he's contemplating. What if they would have known about certain things that they could have done, Noni being one, maybe there's a lot of others, of course, a lot of other things that people can do to extend their lifespan and have quality of life. Now, Gerald mentioned the book, and ladies and gentlemen, we've set this up with Larry ahead of time. Larry, our listeners today, to get a free copy of the book that Gerald referred to, entitled Building an Amazing Immune System, and some other fantastic things that Larry, it's almost like Larry says, let's make it Christmas here, Dr. Bob, in the middle of, in summer here. And yep. I said, I'm up for that, and I'm sure our listeners are going to enjoy it. And wait until, ladies and gentlemen, wait until the farm, and I'm going to help him do it, because there's no higher calling than helping our fellow man, as Gerald has pointed out. And not only are we going to help you with the information that we're going to impart, but also give you a whole lot of things to motivate you to get healthy. Stand by for that. You just heard from Gerald Peters, 83 years young, talking about his desire to help his fellow man by teaching them about how they can improve their own health through a God-given fruit that I didn't know anything about until I met Larry Logsdon, who's on the program with us right now. Larry Logsdon is a functional food researcher. specializing in the medicinal properties of exotic fruits, including noni. And he brought to the marketplace this amazing juice that Gerald is talking about. And Larry, welcome back to the show. I want to get into this conversation so people can understand more about this. The average person, if you stood 100 people up and you asked them what noni juice, I suspect that the majority of them would not know what noni juice is. They've never experienced it, didn't know it was available, didn't know anything about it. Am I right on that?
Absolutely, Dr. Bob. Most people, when they hear the word noni, they go, what? And the reason why this is because most people, they don't do much of their own research. They wait for someone to spoon feed it to them, and then they'll know about it. So that's the first problem. The second problem is that this particular fruit, it's magnificent. It helps the body heal in so many ways, yet there's no money in it for the drug companies. That's the problem.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, Gerald, in his mentioning of the woman that he knew who was suffering from fibromyalgia, and he believes, of course, that Tahiti Trader Noni Juice could help her, and he turned her onto that. The question becomes, please explain to the audience what he was even talking about, because some people don't even know what fibromyalgia is, and why he, in your opinion, believes that noni juice may help her and others who are suffering from this debilitating condition. And along the same lines, Larry, with respect to people finding a non-drug way to help manage pain and the agony associated with it.
Well, Dr. Bob, let's start with the fibromyalgia. It's one of those conditions that it affects the musculoskeletal structure of the body, and just the muscles and everything just have tremendous pain. And it creates fatigue, tenderness, and creates lots of other problems like poor sleep, and it goes on and on. And in fact, Gerald was talking about a woman that he knew that was so balled up, she couldn't merit her. She would have, she couldn't open her fists, and she'd have bound up feet, and she just was a mess. And because of the fibromyalgia, everything hurt so much she could hardly move. Then he began to share the message of noni juice with her, and he let her know. Look, the noni fruit's got more than 165 unique chemical compounds not found in any other fruit anywhere, anyplace. And one of them is scopolamine, the other one is dimethicol, and these are the kinds of chemicals that are natural to the product that inhibit COX-2 enzyme. That's a big deal. COX-2 enzyme is what creates the inflammation and the pain. So she started on this stuff, and she says, oh my God, this is as good or better than the non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs I've been taking. He says, throw them away. You don't need them no more. Well, that's the name of the game, folks. Get rid of that junk and get your body healed up the right way with nature.
All right. Our special guest is Larry Logsdon, functional food researcher. We're talking about Tahiti Trader Noni Juice. And he also, of course, was mentioning the book, Build an Amazing Immune System. Our audience today is going to be having the opportunity to get a free copy of that, along with a whole bunch of other merch coming from Tahiti Trader, free of charge. We'll tell you what that's all about, how you can access that information shortly here. So stand by with something to write with. What other painful conditions, Larry, by name, could drinking, the sheer art of drinking Tahiti Trader Noni Juice, potentially help to alleviate? Because if I were you, by the way, just a side note, if I were you, I would find a way to hire Gerald to preach right along with the glory of God, but to also encourage people to use what our Creator put on the earth to bolster our health and wellness via consumption of a few ounces of Tahiti Trader Noni Juice every single day.
Well, I'll tell you right now, the noni juice can help low back pain, like sciatica. A lot of people have got that and find tremendous results by just drinking 2 ounces 2 to 3 times a day. You'll have knee pain. No problem. You're going to find it feels better. Headaches. Oh my gosh. Gerald was talking about one person in his congregation who had migraines, and he started on the program, And after only about 30 days, he says, my migraines have gone away. Everything's good again. Well, these are the kinds of things that most people suffer from every day. And all of them are related to an imbalance that's in your system. And Noni works to create balance again. And when it does so, your body heals itself. It's real simple stuff, Dr. Bob.
Man, I get it. And folks, you don't need to throw the baby out with the bathwater. There's no one-trick pony for every single malady and infirmity known to man. That doesn't mean in this regard you need to divorce your chiropractor or your massage therapist or your acupuncturist or quit exercising, quit eating right, quit thinking right. You need to do all of that. This is just one more tool, one more healthy prop that you can integrate into your style in order to help yourself out. A God-given fruit, 2 ounces of it, 3 times a day, it lowers the inflammatory load. There's the payoff. That's how it works, giving you a chance to rally back against whatever it is so that you can hopefully address whatever it was that got you there so that it doesn't happen again. But wouldn't it be great if you could find a tool such as Tahiti Trader Noni Juice that could lower that load, lower the load of pain and inflammation so that you didn't have to swallow over-the-counter or prescription drugs, which they may numb you for a little bit, but they also, believe it or not, paradoxically can cause pain. If you take them long enough, the very drug you're taking actually causes pain. It does. Look it up. That doesn't happen in nature when you're doing anti-inflammatory properties like Tahiti Trader Noni Juice. My special guest with me is Larry Logsdon. He's a functional food researcher, a guy that's always out there looking at the latest breaking news in the arena of health and wellness to bring it to his customers that are already consuming Tahiti Trader Noni Juice and improving their health. Now, as mentioned by Gerald, the gentleman that Larry interviewed, he's very high on Larry's book entitled Building an Amazing Immune System. And before the show, Larry and I worked a deal out. I said, Larry, I'd love to give away those books to my audience members. Can you hook them up? And he said, yes. And we're so happy to tell you that you can get a free copy of the book, Build an Amazing Immune System, with your order of the Dr. Bob Martin Show special going on today. You order 2 bottles of Tahiti Trader Noni Juice. You need those anyway, and receive a free copy of the book entitled Building an Amazing Immune System. But it doesn't stop there. That's in and of itself a $10 value free just for picking up the Tahiti Trader Noni Juice bottles, 2 of them. And Larry's also going to give you a Tahiti Trader designer shot glass, highly sought after, by the way, $10 value also, free of charge with your order. That way you can measure out the 2 ounces of Tahiti Trader Noni Juice you take 3 times a day. You've got the shot glass. It is a collector item. That's $10 value, free. Plus, you're going to get special pricing on the original Noni Juice for being a Dr. Bob Martin Show listener. It's very simple. Here's what you do. Don't wait on this. Supplies are limited. Call now. Order at 1-800-842-5309. 800-842-5309. And tell them you want the Dr. Bob Martin Show special. They're going to give you 2 bottles of Tahiti Trader Noni Juice at a special price. You're going to get the free Build an Amazing Immune System book, and you're going to get a Tahiti Trader designer shot glass to measure out your level of Tahiti Trader Noni Juice. So you're going to drink both of those, are a $10 value. So you're getting $20 put in your hand free of charge to begin with, plus special pricing. Again, 1-800-842-5309. You can also go to their website, and there'll be something right there that directs you to ordering over at TahitiTrader.com. TahitiTrader.com. Look for the Dr. Bob Martin special, where you can get special pricing on ordering 2 bottles of Tahiti Trader Noni Juice and get a free copy of Larry's book, Building an Amazing Immune System, and the free shot, meaning it's a glass, little tiny glass, where you can Put your Noni Juice in there. Both of those have a value. Each one of them has a value of $10 each. All right, Larry, thank you for the offer to my audience. I wasn't expecting that. But I'm sure my audience is going to take it. Yeah, it's amazing.
It's amazing. You're going to save 30% off the price of the juice itself. And we're throwing in two $10 gifts in there for you. It's well worth it. You're going to have a great time reading and adjusting your diet to get the most amazing immune system you could ever have.
Fantastic. 1-800-842-5309 or TahitiTrader.com. Question, Larry, what about Gerald mentioning during your brief interview with him, he mentioned colon cancer in a person in their 60s, and he looks at people in their 60s as being young. Of course, he's 83 and doing well, and I agree with him. Too many people think they're over the hill at 40, 50, 60. They're not. Are there any science-based studies to suggest that Noni may help serious and complicated degenerative problems for which conventional medicine treatments are often worse than the very disease they're trying to target? For listeners who have whatever it may be, X, Y, Z health challenge, and their goal is to feel, function, perform better, are there ways that you can explain how complicated chronic problems can actually be helped with the consumption of Tahiti Trader Noni Juice?
Well, the answer is absolutely yes. Yes, folks. This is an amazing opportunity. You see, Noni works in your gut, works down deep. And what it does is it turns on the right chemistry. And see, the only reason you've got a colon problem is because you have the wrong chemistry going through there. And what Noni does, it works to sweeten it up and get things working like they should, and things clear up. It's an amazing thing, and there's lots of research, more than 700 scientific papers and studies that support this. That's an amazing number. Most people don't realize you're taking vitamin C. It's got 50 studies. Well, this has got 700. Maybe we should pay attention to this one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, pay attention to the 800 number to get a hold of it. You buy 2 bottles of Tahiti Trader Noni Juice, get a special pricing on that, 30% off. You get a free copy of Larry's book, Building an Amazing Immune System, plus the coveted and highly sought after Tahiti Trader shot glass. Both of those are $10 value each. Order now. 842-5309. 800-842-5309 to take advantage of the savings and the free merch that Larry is giving away. It's raining gifts here today, so take advantage of it, ladies and gentlemen. I've got more questions of Larry. Come back from this break. Stay right where you are. For our special guest, Larry Logsdon, functional researcher, CEO and founder of Tahiti Trader Noni. We're talking about all the medicinal health benefits of Tahiti Trader Noni Juice. We played an interview, and if you're just tuning in, you'll be able to hear it in the podcast library if you missed it, over at radioamerica.com after the show. Now, Larry's got a special offer going on right now. Anybody who orders 2 bottles of Tahiti Trader Noni Juice, they're going to receive a free copy of his spectacular book entitled Building an Amazing Immune System. That's a $10 value all by itself. Plus, he's going to give you the shot glass, a Tahiti Trader designer, highly sought after shot glass. That's a $10 value, so you can measure out your medicine, your natural medicine every day to drink that Tahiti Trader Noni Juice so that disease doesn't find its way into your body. The value of the two of those, $20. You're ahead before you start. Supplies are very limited, so order now, 1-800-842-5309, 800-842-5309, or TahitiTrader.com. All right, Larry, so lightning around here, are there any known adverse side effects of somebody taking Noni Juice?
Not a one. Not even one.
Right. All right. Can Noni Juice be taken if a person is taking medical drugs right alongside? Is there any kind of contraindication there?
No, it'll only make your drugs work better.
Yeah, wow. Okay. And what amazing feedback, Larry, have you, besides Gerald's feedback, which we have you received from Tahiti Trader Noni Juice customers? If you could just quickly reel off.
We have every condition in the book, folks. You name it, you can claim it. It's one of these amazing things that Noni helps you heal, rebalance, and feel better right now and increase your energy. It's not rocket science. You're going to love it. And that's the thing. Most people just don't realize something so simple could be so good.
Mm-hmm. Now, you 30% off of the cost plus all these free gifts. So people might be saying to themselves, yeah, it's probably $5,000 a bottle and 30% off. I still can't afford it. That's not where you're going with this, is it, Larry?
No, it costs you, right around $1 a serving, folks. It's a very affordable. You're going to love it.
Oh, okay. Fantastic. Okay, folks, here it is. Last time. Order 2 bottles of Tahiti Trader Noni Juice. Get a free copy of Building an Amazing Immune System, $10 value, and a free shot glass to pour it in, $10 value, plus the discount. 1-800-842-5309. 800-5309 for Tahiti Trader Noni Juice.
Thanks for listening to Wellness Made Easy. For more inspiring stories and natural health tools, visit TahitiTrader.com or follow us online. Take the reins on your health starting today.